Could I be Natty verified? Now, you know, this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, although not really, but to an extent it is, with me talking about it or reporting on it, because, you know, I don't give two shits about it. I really don't care. Why would I not care? Well, because this is a thing that kids care about. You understand? Let's just stop being so politically correct and pussyfooting around. This kind of shit, who's natty, who's not natty, that's something just kids care about, man. Adults don't. Adults have other things on their mind. You don't have time to worry about who's natty, who's not natty. It doesn't affect you. It's like saying, you know, the guy down the street, his dick's harder than mine because he uses Cialis. Now, if he didn't use Cialis, you know what I'm saying? It just, who gives a shit? Who cares what the guy down the street's doing, and why are you worried about his erection? You know what I mean? Worry about your own self. Do what you want to do. Do you have can you go get on test if you want? I guess you could. Okay, so do you elect to not do that? Okay, fine, that's cool, go ahead. Do you elect to do that? Okay, fine, go ahead, who gives a shit? Alright, so I understand the issue here is supposed to be fake natties. That we can't tell who's natty. You go buy a damn car, who do you take with you? Right? And then how do you know what you're getting? You buy a brand new car. They have engineering designs built into them. Not on purpose, but that's what technical service bulletins are usually all about. There's so many technical service bulletins, and there's a handful every year with every car they make that should probably be recalls. You know, because that's not the car you paid for. You paid for a finished product. Anyway, it's if you don't know what I'm talking about, investigate it. If you don't give a shit because you got a full life to live, then just take my word for it. And it's the same thing with anything else, man. You know, let the buyer beware. There's always going to be people, when you go to buy anything, there's always going to be people trying to rip you off. There's always going to be people trying to bullshit you. It runs the gamut. I mean, it's a fact of life. It's part of growing up. It's, you know, you just do the best you can. You try to become educated. The buyer should become educated, you know, about whatever they're getting into, hopefully. And even with all that, there are still bad deals out there because they're unscrupulous individuals, and there always will be. So it's just part of more of the shit that I'm against, you know, big government trying to regulate and legislate common sense. You know, I mean, so let me think. The big thing about the fake natty thing is people don't want to put all this time into a program or training or following somebody's advice and then find out they can never look like this person. How long do you think it would take you to look like the person anyway? It takes years. Years. No matter what, it takes years to build the physique you're trying to build. Years. It's a lifelong endeavor. Why would you stop? It's a lifelong endeavor. You know, it's like when people say, oh, if you stop, you lose it all. Yeah, and if I stop breathing, I die too. You know, if I stop eating, I starve to death. Oh, well, I don't, you know, you got to eat the rest of your life if you're going to eat. Yeah, of course you do. You got to breathe too. Yeah. You want to take care of yourself and work out because we really don't work like we're actually designed to work. You know. Anyway, let's not get you into too much of this and expand this too far. Point is, the fake natty thing is just something, you know, grown men don't have time to worry about this bullshit. I doubt that women give two rats, you know, they don't give a shit about it either. I can't imagine women do. But, you know, even with your natties, that your proclaimed natties, your top guys, these guys, shit, I've written diets for guys that look that good that are natural and look better. These guys aren't that super impressive, even as naturals. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, they're not. Some of your top guys, you know, with the biggest followings that are natties, mediocre genetics. It's just a fact of life. Look, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that. Sorry to be the one to tell you that. Now, clearly, the whole point to this is I could probably pass the test. You know, I go off for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months at a time when I go off sometimes. One time I went off for 3 years. Yeah, now in the end of 3 years, by the end of that, I wasn't training either. I wasn't eating like I was trying to, you know, hold muscle. So I atrophied quite a bit that time. But I wasn't even working out. But I still looked like a guy that took care of himself and trained. You know, I didn't look like this, but I certainly did not look like an untrained guy. I looked like a guy that went to the gym. And I hadn't even touched a weight in 3 years. I hadn't touched anything in 3 years. And I wasn't even eating to support the muscle. I just was taking a long break from it. at one point, years ago. So here's the thing. Even if, or even when I'm off, my whole point, like I tell you, you don't lose everything. You're never going to lose it all because you develop additional nuclei. You grow new nuclei. You never lose that. It's not just us, it's all mammals. You grow additional nuclei. You never lose that nuclei. So you, in fact, will always have more muscle than you had when you first began. And you do that if you're natural or enhanced. It's just at a greater rate if you're enhanced. Yeah, it's a greater rate if you're enhanced. Okay, so all the years that I've trained, natural and enhanced, I've developed all this muscle. You don't get this big. It turns out that the reality is you don't just hypertrophy and get this big with what you started out as when you were a skinny kid. You actually build more muscle, not just expand what you got. You actually grow new nuclei, acquire new nuclei, and you never lose them. They atrophy, but that's what muscle memory is. That's why when you come back to it, you blow back up a lot faster than it took first go around. Because you got a lot more muscle there. There's a lot more muscle cells there. Anyway, so the point is, if I come off for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, right? I could take the test and pass it. You've seen me throughout the whole time I've been on YouTube. And nobody even believes when I'm off that long as it is. I'm a lot different. I don't look anywhere near as good when I'm off for long periods of time, but I still look like I work out. I still look like I have a good deal of muscle. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if I had never augmented testosterone, would I have this much muscle? No. If I trained natural all these years, I would have more muscle than I started with because I'd have all the additional nuclei, but I wouldn't have as many. I wouldn't have as many at all. Okay? So if I come off long enough to pass the test, okay, so then I'm certified natural. I could pass the test if I wanted to. It's not worth it to me because I don't care, but if just so happened to coincide with a period of time I was off for so many months, and I said, what the hell, I'm going to take the test, I would pass it. Then what? I get the stamp of approval, I'm a certified YouTube Natty? Please. Even if I stop, do you understand? As long as I keep training, keep eating, I'm never going to have a Natty's physique. Never. It's not, my physique will never be what it would have been if I never did augment my test levels. Do you understand? So it doesn't matter how long I'm off. And that's the whole problem in it. You will always have unscrupulous people. You will always have people who are trying to get away with something, trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes. And they're going to be able to pass the test. I'm a drastic example. It's ridiculous, right? But I could, in fact, pass the test. Not right this minute, but if it were worth it to me, I could come off for enough months that I could pass the test. So that should tell you right there that, hey, I understand it's probably well-intended, but the two big points are, it doesn't matter anyway. To an adult grown man, it shouldn't matter at all, number one, okay? Because, so you can't look like this guy because he's lying to you and he's not Natty, whoever. Well, okay, in the course of time that you train and learn this, then what are you going to do? Just throw it all away? Just say, oh shit, I can't look like that because it turns out he's not Natty. I've been wasting my time all these. No, because you should be in love with it by then. You should acquire a lot of knowledge by then. You should have a damn good physique by then. You should know what you're doing. It should be your lifestyle now. I seriously doubt that when you learn enough to figure that out, that's going to make you throw all your cards in. If that makes you fold your hand and walk away from the table, then you're barking up the wrong tree anyway because you don't have what it takes to hang in here a whole life and train. You don't. And that's, who's to say if it's good or bad? I don't care. It's your life. You do what you want with it. Don't care what you do with it. That's your choice. Whatever makes you happy. So anyway, those are the two big issues as I see them. Nobody really cares. Nobody really should care, number one. And number two, I could pass it if it was important to me, which it's absolutely not. It's ridiculous, but if it were. So that should tell you right there that the fundamental flaw that's designed in it you'll never get around is there are always people out there that do care, and they will lie, and they will cheat, and they will try to scam. And they'll be able to. Simple as that. Probably, I'd like to think the majority of people would be honest. And, if the majority of people are honest anyway, those who are honest are going to tell you the truth because they have integrity. Those who are going to lie to you and try and scam you and work you, they're still going to try. And they'll probably be able to get away with it. Now, I don't know if they can stay off long enough and have any kind of physique left because none of them really have much muscle to begin with. Anyway, that's it. That's just a cold, harsh reality.